Hey, beautiful people. Damn. We got a lot of people who know their television.
James, you got a whole couch to yourself over there.
I do. I'm going to take a nap.
Like, lay?
Hey, before we start, can I ask you guys a favor? Do you mind?
Of course.
I'd like to take a little video of anyone that's cosplaying with any of the, the different roles or the different shows that I've been in. And then I string that together and put it on social media. But I'd like to give them a round of applause at the end of the little video. So if you guys don't mind, do you want to do that? Yes. Okay.
That sounds great.
Great. When I yell action, just like raise your arms and scream like your team just won the.
All right.
The
Make sure
binky.
everybody in the con center hears you, everyone. We want them to know.
Okay, ready?
Oh my gosh.
You guys are amazing.
Great job, everyone. Great job.
Do they have free coffee here at the convention? You guys are awake. That's great.
Hyped up on a Sunday.
Yeah. Heck yeah. What?
He said great direction. You have great direction.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Hell
thank you so much for joining today.
Yeah, man. I love talking about myself. So this is going to be
You know
fun.
what? It's a great place to be then because everybody here would love to hear about it.
Yeah. And I like to say, you guys can ask me anything that you want. If you want to try to embarrass me, bring it.
Sweat.
I'm absolutely shameless. It's impossible to embarrass me. I don't promise to answer any question that you ask. I might be like, I'm not going to touch that. But you can try. It's okay. Yeah.
Challenge accepted, right, everyone?
Yeah. Throw
Well,
the
this is
gauntlet
not
down.
your first time in Raleigh, is it?
No.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah,
Thank
love
you.
Raleigh.
Have you been able to go around the city at all?
Nope.
Well, next time we'll have to get some food
Actually,
recommendations.
my brother lives in North Carolina, and he just had his second child, and I was going to come out a week early, but then I got COVID, and I had to like that's the one thing I don't want to give your new son.
Exactly.
And so I had to get over that, and now I'm testing negative. I'm all good to come back into the world.
Yes.
CDC says I'm fine.
Yes.
But couldn't do it. So
The
yeah,
best
just
time
been
to get COVID is a week and a half before
no
the con.
good time, but the best
if
time.
you're gonna get it,
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Right
yeah,
before, you know you can't get it at the
Yeah.
convention.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
glad
good.
you're feeling better then.
Yeah, much better, much better. And coffee helps.
And coffee always does help. I know that you have a huge line, so I'm gonna go ahead and just ask a couple of questions and then turn it over to the audience. You've been in some very iconic franchises. You've been in, obviously, Buffy, the Doctor Who universe, DC. You as yourself, though, if you could join any of these universes, which one would it be?
Star
and why?
Trek, for the love of God,
Oh,
Star
yes.
Trek. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that and Lord of the Rings. But yeah, I mean, like Star Trek. Like, I was coming from, I've been coming to cons since I was 13 years old dressed as Spock.
A great one to be, though,
And
the
like,
best one.
I fell in love. This is back in like 75. Yeah, and back then you could only be a fan of Star Trek or Space 1999, and we hated Space 1999. We're like, Martin
rivalry.
Landau sucks, man. But yeah, I had a perfect Spock uniform. I did eyebrows, pointed ears. My tricorder was amazing, and I had big blonde afro because I could do nothing with my hair back then. But all the girls wanted to talk to me because I had such a good cosplay, and I was like,
sense.
I love conventions,
So my
yeah.
question is, when are you
But
going to bring this?
I've never been in Star Trek. They actually wrote the role of Picard's clone for me. And I remember I went in to do the screen test, but I was filming with Patrick Stewart, and I was fanboying so hard that I couldn't act. And I gave like the worst auditions of my whole life. And I knew it at the time, like, you're failing in front of Captain Picard, you suck! Oh my God. And so they cast this other dude, Tom Hardy, I don't know who that is, as the role.
Some guy.
Yeah,
Just some guy.
I've not ever been beamed up. Yeah.
Well, maybe one day. When are you
day.
going to bring the Spock cosplay to a GalaxyCon?
As soon as I figure out my hair. Yeah.
There we go. I also love that you are a passionate musician.
Yeah.
You had a acoustic set yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday? Did anybody get to experience that? What got you, how long have you been into music? I know obviously you're into acting, and what got you into it, would you say?
My dad was a guitarist, and he used to play when I was young. I remember dancing around the house to One Little, Two Little, Three Little Indians and tripping and seeing this rocking chair. You know, the back of a rocking chair has a point, and it coming forward to me, and I just split my skull on a rock. But I was rocking out to One Little, Two Little, Three Little. And so when I was, I don't know, I guess it was junior high that I picked up the guitar and started playing. And then by the time I was 13, I was playing in bars. I would only play James Taylor, though. Again, this is back in the 70s. He's the best, man. Let's admit it. But I was very like, I only play James Taylor. So I was like,
and
James
I like
Taylor
Star Trek specifically.
Yeah. And but I got into bars at 13. You know, it's a good way to get in bars. But then, yeah, I decided to go to college for acting. So I really I could have gone for music, but I decided to go for acting. And so my guitar really kind of just became a private thing for a long time. But then I got into Buffy, and I was doing an interview, and they often ask you, do you play a musical instrument? And I said, yeah, guitar. And I talked a little bit about it. And someone read that who had a club in Los Angeles, and they figured out that, hey, let's get this TV guy in our club. It doesn't matter if he sucks. He'll sell tickets. So I went in, it was 14 below in Santa Monica, and I went in there, and I sucked. I mean, like, in your living room, I was good. But on a stage, you know, no. So, but it sold out. It was Bedlam, of course, you know. And so other clubs started calling me up. And I decided, like, well, I'm not going to be great in the beginning, but if I start doing this, I'll get better, and it'll be fun. But before I got better, I was playing like one of the biggest clubs in Los Angeles, the Key Club, and I'm backstage waiting to go on, and someone comes in and goes, dude, you're not going to believe it. Pink is in the house. She can't wait to see you. And I'm like, oh, God,
Why
no.
did you tell me before the show?
Oh, I suck. Oh my God. And by the end of the show, Pink was nowhere to be found. She left right away. It's like, I can't. You just broke my heart. I'm like, no way. But then I was hanging out at home, and this 17-year-old kid came up, and he was staying with his brother in the little bungalow next to my little tiny apartment. And he was in town trying to sell a CD from a band that he was in Santa Monica called Power Animal, and they were getting radio play up in Sacramento, and they were really good. And he was trying to shop this album around. He wasn't getting a lot of traction because there's a million musicians down in Los Angeles.
Yes.
But we started a band together, and it's Ghost of the Robot, and we've been together since 2001. Nice. And yeah, we do pretty well.
I know that at some cons, your guitarist will travel with you and play. Yeah, that's so cool. It's a fun experience that you have. You're acting, and you're that to share with the audience, and then you also have your passion for music and being a songwriter. You can share your feelings both ways.
And we're out on the road. Like, we played Nashville.
Oh, that's where I'm from.
We played in Nashville. My amp like blew up on sound check, so we went from four musicians to three just one guitar, and I was like, how are we gonna do this? And the lead guitarist is like, I got you, man. And I'm like, okay, buddy, go for it. I had a crazy show in Manhattan. Played a couple times in Los Angeles. Just came out with another album.
In Los Angeles?
Which
I know
venue?
There's like iconic venues in Los Angeles.
Oh, you're testing me. Oh God, now I'm gonna freeze up.
Okay.
No, it's such a good. The Mint. The Mint, which is it's a medium-sized club that is a favorite of musicians because the sound system is just phenomenally good.
That's awesome. I'm new to the area, so I need to figure out what venues to go to.
Oh, because a lot of musicians just hang out there to listen because the sound system's good. So you might see some other like known musicians just like hanging out.
Stand right at front of house, get the best experience. Perfect. Well, I don't want to ignore our wonderful guests anymore. If you would, please go ahead and introduce yourself and ask your question.
Hi, I'm Robert.
Hey, Robert.
If you had to choose between Warehouse 13's and Buffy's immortality, which one would you choose?
Buffy, man. I'm sorry to say, yeah. Because you get the whole rock and roll thing, and you get to wear eyeliner, you know. I was wearing more makeup than Sarah Gellar on that show. People are just like, you look so hot. I'm like, well, when you wear that much makeup, you're gonna be pretty good. Yeah. No. I'll take Buffy. Warehouse was really fun, but man, Buffy was off the hook. Yeah.
Great question. Thank you.
Hey, Chuck. Dresden Files, your narration is just filled with so much heart and emotion. What do you think was the hardest moments for you in trying to read, like that you had to redo because it was so powerful for you?
The hardest scene to get through, for those of you who don't know, I do some audiobooks called the Dresden Files. They're okay. They're really well written, and like I've done mediocre writing before, and I was saying to some people in line earlier today, when you're doing mediocre writing, it's like trying to drag a corpse up a mountain. Like it's really hard to make it entertaining, but when the writing is good, it just kind of carries you. And so when I do Dresden, I just get kind of carried by a warm wave. That being said, if it sounds like I'm crying, it's because I'm crying, because it's carrying me, and there's some sad stuff. And so I don't want to do any spoilers, but the Chichen Itza scene with Susan, that was hard to get through.
And it was cracks.
Right? Yeah, I know. Yeah, because literally I was like, and then I took the knife. Just give me a second. And then I took the knife. And it was like that, right? And so I'm getting embarrassed, and then I finally finish the chapter, and I look up at the director's like, that was really good, man. I think let's take 10 minutes, okay? I'm like, fuck yeah!
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hello, my name is Will.
Hey, Will.
And in your opinion, who would win in a fight, Harry Dresden or Spike?
It's a tough one.
Fuego. There we go.
You've stumped him.
Okay. I would ask this question all the time. Like, I'd be doing Buffy, right? And, like, some days Spike could break big chains, and some days little ropes would keep him from escaping. And I'm just like, I'm constantly asking the writers, like, what are the rules here? Like, how strong am I? And they're like, whatever works, James. Whatever is funny and or exciting is what the reality is. Don't overthink it. Just sell it, okay? So, whatever you want, man. Like, if it's in the Dresden books, Dresden can win. That's fine. If it's on Buffy, Spike will kick his ass.
Thank you.
Some days Spike doesn't eat his Wheaties, and he can't break out of his ropes. Hi there.
Hi, my name's Anna Maria. I was
Hey.
wondering, with the Buffy universe, as a character whose persona went from selfish villain to selfless hero, if Spike had his own spin-off series, do you think his persona would keep on like that, since it was mainly through influence of others?
Yeah, I think I remember going to the producers of Buffy and saying, what about a Spike spinoff? And they're like, wow, a male vampire spinoff of Buffy. What would you call that? How about Angel? I think the most interesting thing, if you were to do that, would be Spike right after he gets Spike with a soul, but doesn't know how to deal with it yet. Because we see Angel, because the whole thing is then, if you're going to do that, how do you not retread Angel? How do you not just redo that? They've already done that. But with Angel, we kind of meet him when he's already kind of figured it out, and we hear about this long period where he was like homeless and eating bugs and stuff like that, but that's only referred to, you don't see it. And I was like, well, if you're going to do Spike, just take that part and live in that. And so I actually wrote a comic book about that was going to be a TV movie, but it fell apart because people above me and other, above the producers of the show, it's so political in Hollywood. It didn't get made on film. But in the comic book, I want to write a comic book where he can't kill anybody for lunch anymore. He can't steal anything to get new clothes, and so he's homeless and he's starving to death, and he cannot figure out how to survive in the world with the soul. So I wrote a story where he tries to be the hero and he gets his butt kicked. He tries to be the lover and he gets dumped, but he figures out a way to get a new pair of shoes without hurting anybody. And I was like, just one little small step towards figuring this thing out. And I think that's probably where the most juice would be in the Spike story.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi, my name's Paige.
Hey, Paige.
Hi. One of the best things about Spike is his ability, and it's a testament to you, is his ability to be matched with any character and it always be an interesting dynamic. Yeah. I was wondering if there was any particular character from Buffy or Angel that you wish the relationship between Spike and that character got to be explored more.
Faith.
Oh, that's my answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they would just dump on each other constantly.
Yes.
Because they're so alike, there'd be a lot of friction.
Yeah.
And that's just good for drama.
Yeah.
And Eliza's such a good actor. That would be fabulous. They were kicking around an idea of a spinoff of Faith and Spike on a motorcycle road trip all throughout America. But again, it didn't happen. But I think that would probably be, dramatically speaking, I think there's enough ways to go in that, Yeah.
I think it would have been a little too hot for any of us to handle.
Yeah, you can't do that. That'd be too sexy. No.
Spicy for
Terrible.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah, my phone.
Thank you.
Hey, James.
Hey, man.
So I'm a father and a musician too. And one of my favorite things about music is how you get inspiration from all over. Yeah. Use it to craft your own unique sound. Now that you've been playing with your son in Ghost of the Robot for over 10 years, what are some things you've learned from him that you've been able to add to either your own music or songwriting?
The only thing I've learned is don't question Sullivan. No, seriously, man. He is as good at music as I am at acting. Like, he devoted himself like a laser beam to music. Well, then he went to law school. But he really, I lasered in on acting. And, if you talk about acting, I can go on and on and on, and I'll tell you why I'm right, and I am. Sorry. But, when he first got in the band, we were doing our second album. And so he just did some background vocals and a couple of licks, lead licks on guitars and stuff like that. By the third album, he had his own song on it. By the fourth album, he was pretty much co-producing it. And by the last album, we didn't do anything without going, Sullivan, is that a good idea? Okay, good. Okay, let's do that. So he's basically like the leader of the band, Well, yeah. Kevin would take umbrage with that, but he's... A lot of times I'll be like, really, you want to do that with a song? I don't understand it. He's like, Dad, you'll get it later. It's okay.
You got to trust the process.
Because he just does weird stuff, man. He's like George Harrison. Like George Harrison stuff on the Beatles, we all listen to it all through childhood, so it's normal. But if you really think about it, George Harrison does things that, you just don't do that. Nobody else would try that kind of lead on those kind of chords. And it's very weird. And so Sullivan is like that. And until it's all layered in, and the whole thing is, he's hearing it in his mind, so he's hearing everything together. But when he just tells me, man, there's this one song, Over Now, and it's this really sad breakup song, and he's like, Dad, I want to do this in the bridge. And he goes, Billy. I'm like, what the? No. And I'm like, we fight about it and fight about it and fight about it, and finally we're in the recording studio. This is on the last album, and he goes, Dad, don't worry, I've got two versions. So I want to do the one that I want to do, and then I got one that I think you'll like better. So he recorded, and he was right. I liked the other one better. But then when they mixed it, he was right. And there was this moment where I'm just like, I met this woman by the, she lived by the beach, and I'm just like, I think I'm going to keep my toes dry for a while. We broke up, and I'm not going to be going back to the beach right now. I'm over it. But it's this image of it sparkles. It's in the mix, and it feels like I get this image of a bird taking off at midnight over sparkling water of the ocean. It's just so good and surprise. So I've learned go with what Sullivan wants.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ivana.
Hey, Ivana.
So in general, what has been the most unexpected lesson you've learned about yourself? The most unexpected lesson. Yes.
That's a really good question. Wow. I've learned, I don't know, I feel like the pile of stuff that I know has probably not grown very much in the last 30 or 40 years, but the pile of stuff that I think I know has shrunk dramatically. And so just, I guess it is coming to acceptance of my own ignorance. That is the thing that I've learned about myself. I don't know that much. And I guess that's okay. You know, as long as I try to be nice to people around myself and I try to be grateful for where I am when I am, I'll probably have a good day. But I used to be kind of arrogant, I think. And I think I've lost that. So, yeah, I don't know shit.
Same, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think
That's a great
Thank you.
answer.
Thank you.
You asked the fans to embarrass you, but they're just making you think real deep.
No, I didn't tell you to make me think. Yeah. No, not really. What's up?
Hi, my name's Ashton.
Hey, babe.
My question for you is, what inspired you to be an actor, to go out?
What inspired me to be an actor?
Yes.
I started acting when I was in the 4th grade, and I played Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh. And I remember I was very serious about it. I was like, I'm going to bring the pathos to this character. And then I didn't act again until I was in the summer between my 6th and 7th grade. So going into junior high school, there was a small children's theater company, and they were doing a play called The Me That Nobody Knows, which was a really cool show. It was a bunch of monologues written by inner city kids, and then professional Broadway songwriters wrote songs based on those monologues. And it was like a big hit on Broadway at the time. And we were doing it, and I was singing a song called Light Sings All Over the World. And I'm just, how old am I? 5th, 6th, I'm 12. And I'm on the apron of the stage, and I'm singing my song, and it's going well. My voice is good. And it just occurred to me, I'm looking out at the audience, and it occurs to me that the audience and I and the other actors who were backstage at that point, we're all in the same room. You know, like there are these divisions that we call the stage and the house, and backstage and the stage, but it's all really one room. And we're all really together. And we're all doing our part to have a good time right now. And I felt a connection with everybody at the same time. It was very powerful. And I got bit. And I was like, man, I can connect with a large group of people. And I don't mind being stared at. And so it was that searching for connection that really bit me. Yeah, most of all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hi, my name is Danielle. I just had a question. When you first got the script for Buffy, you weren't supposed to be a main character on the show. Was it surprising to you how quickly fans grew to love Spike?
No. Yeah, like I was. The whole point of season 2, right, is Angel and Buffy sleep together. Angel goes evil, kills me off, so he becomes the big bad. Takes up with Drusilla so that Buffy can have her heart broken. That's the whole point of the whole season. So killing me was integral to that. So they only built me up to be really cool. So I was Angel's first victim. That was the reason I was there. And then they didn't kill me off, And they built me up so far, and then they kept me around. I was like, hell yeah, But this is before the internet exploded. This is before I didn't really understand how hard it was hitting for another year. But there are certain roles that it takes me maybe a few days or even a week or more to kind of figure out how to drive that car, kind of. With Spike, man, from the very first scene, I was like, oh, hell yeah. Oh, I know how to, oh, yeah. Oh, yep. And it just fit right away. I was like, I cannot make a mistake in this role. This is just me. Like Spike is all the darkest parts of me, the parts that I try not to inflict on the world, you know? And I've gotten better about that as I got older. But if you combine all of that stuff, the loneliness, the anger, all of that stuff, with the sparkling, funny, interesting words that are provided that I didn't make up, and you combine those two things, in the middle of that is Spike. Yeah. And I was just like, this works. This combination works. So I was freaking rocking it, and I knew it right from the gates. I'm like, baby, get out of my way, you know. But no, I don't think I understood what the audience reaction is. I kind of assumed what I knew what the audience reaction, but I didn't experience it for quite a long time after that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great question.
Can you guys see me back there? Is the sight lines okay? All right. Cool.
They need a bigger room for you.
No, I just want to stand up, but I don't want to stand up, so yeah.
They have you on the screens over here, too, on these side screens, yes. And they have closed captioning, so everything you say might get mistranslated into words sometimes.
They were doing
awkwardly.
that for the show last night, for the lyrics, and they were getting all the lyrics wrong.
Yep,
like the
it
AI
happened.
was screwing up the lyrics.
I had
And,
something very bad that I said once when I was trying to say Bakugo, and somebody made it into a T-shirt and came to meet me, and I was like, oh no, I'm never gonna live this down.
Anyway, yeah, what's up?
My name's Theo.
Hey, bud.
I know a lot of people are going to ask about Buffy and other things you're a part of, but for me, it's Smallville. Professor Milton Fine, to be discovered as Brainiac, to Brainiac 5. I was just wondering, on your time on set, what it was like to play Brainiac and then be called, like, 3 seasons or 2 seasons later to come back as Brainiac 5.
It was great, you know. I just loved pretending to care about Clark Kent. Tom Welling is a very intelligent man, and he did something that I took from him, which is he went to the producers and he said, I don't want to know anything that my character doesn't know. I don't want to have to act like I don't know things. I want to actually be ignorant of it. So I move through this story as if I'm Clark. Because he had a lot of power. He's the lead, and he could have gotten all the information about what's going on. But then he would have to, it's just simpler that way. And so he didn't know I was Brainiac. He thought I was just Milton Fine. He thought we were going to be friends.
Oh, wow.
But of course, I know they have to tell me that, you know, that you're the robot. So I knew, I'm going to kill you, bro. I'm going to kill you, boy. I'm going to so torture you. And he's just like, yeah, we're going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm like, dude, it was amazing. Yeah, the only thing that was hard about Smallville, because the whole cast was so nice, was that Tom is way taller than I am, and we would do these things called walk and talks, where actors have to prove that they actually know their lines, because you're basically just walking constantly and they're just filming you. It looks really beautiful on film, but basically, if you see a walk and talk on television, and you know that everybody's on their game. Usually what happens is they'll take 5 steps and they'll stop walking and turn for no reason at all and start talking to each other, and then finish the conversation and go, okay, let's go. People don't do that in real life, but it's easier to film, and you don't have to know your lines quite as well. But when you do a walk and talk, you have to know, everybody's got, you know, camera crew, focus pullers, every sound crew. It's really tight. So they did a lot of that on Smallville. The problem being, for the long shot, it was not a problem to have me and Tom Welling in the same shot. But if you go into a close-up of both of our faces, you get Tom's face, and I'm invisible below the frame. So they had to like build these beauty pageant ramps so that I could like be seen and like tape together all we call them apple boxes. They're not for apples, they're just like wooden boxes, but they would run out of duct tape when I was on the set. I would walk on the set and I'd hear the crew go, oh God, Brainiac's here. It was humiliating. But yeah, and then I got to come back and I was a hero, and I was confused, and I kept asking Tom, when am I gonna like, screw you over, man? He's like, dude, you're not. You're a hero. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah, you are. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hi, my name is Jessica.
Hey, babe.
My favorite episode of Buffy is Once More with Feeling.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you could talk about your experience with that. I know Anthony had helped you with your accent, so I was wondering if you were able to help any of the other actors with their musicality.
I didn't even try. I had never thought of that. I didn't even offer to help.
Oh.
It was method acting. Spike wouldn't have offered either.
I think so, because I was method acting, and I'm like, no, those people, I'm not going to help them at all. No, die. God. Wow. What I will say is that it's my favorite episode too. I think that the theme of Buffy is don't give up. The world is not perfect. It hurts, but it's a mistake to lose hope and get out there and try to help out, you know? And we got that, we didn't even get a script, right? We just got a tape of Joss Whedon singing the songs. And he sucks. I'm sorry, but he's not a professional singer, and it's him plunking on the piano, and those songs sounded cheesy as hell. And like we got the cassette, and we all got it at lunchtime, you know, and we all came out into the sun at the same time, having played 15 minutes of the tape, going, "Have you listened? What the heck? What are we doing?" And so most of the cast had a really good argument that they were being asked to sing, and they're not singers, and you're asking me to do something in front of millions of people that I don't know how to do, and you're going to ruin my career. You know, and they had a good point. I think Sarah asked if she could juggle chainsaws. She's like, I'm not even kidding. I would rather do that. Tony Head and I, we were comfortable singing, but I thought the song sucked because Joss Whedon ruined them. But after we finished grousing and whining and sweating and worrying about it, we decided that even though we were sure that the show was getting flushed down a toilet and it was all going to go down in flames for sure, we decided to go down swinging. And everyone got to work, and they started hiring their own, out of their own pockets. The cast hired their own vocal teachers and dance teachers, and we got to work. And we lived up to the theme, actually. We didn't give up, even though it was hard. And then it didn't suck. Oh my God. But like behind the scenes, I think that we lived up to the theme. And I'm really proud of us for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Leland, and I got another Dresden Files question.
Yeah.
So, if a live-action adaptation of the Dresden Files were to happen, who would be the character you most want to be?
Butters.
I kind of figured that for some reason, because he's great.
Yeah, because like he starts as kind of a nebbishy kind of medical examiner guy, and he ends up like a freaking Jedi. Butters. Yeah, yeah.
Like I started him with this kind of voice because he was kind of a nebbish, you know. But then he becomes a guy who's like, you do not give Butters shit. And to try to take this voice into somebody that you don't want to mess with,
it's kind of weird. But I did it, yeah. Tried it anyway. Polka never dies, baby.
Hi, I'm Megan. This
Megan.
is my dad, Brian. One of
bud.
our favorite TV shows is Smallville, so I'm glad somebody asked about that. And your answer made me think of another question. What was it like when Tom found out that you were Brainiac? Is there anything funny that happened there?
Oh, man, that's a really good one. No, I just always remember that he was always so kind to me. He was just always... And he was like, apparently he just said that I was really nice to work with. I don't know. But they were so nice. Everyone was so nice. That's really good. No, he was effortless. He didn't give any reaction at all. He was just like, okay, I guess we're going to be doing fights, you know? And by the way, Smallville fights are so boring. Oh my God. Like I'd come from doing Buffy where it's all you do it live, and you're just punching each other and sweating and punching each other. With Smallville, Clark punches you, and then it's 3 days of special effects, and they spend about $3 million spinning you around space, around the Earth, and then you come back 3 days later, and you kick him in the nuts, and then he spins through the wall, and it's another 3 days of special effects, and it's over. You know, like, that's not really stunts. They're like, no, it's a super fight. Yeah, yeah. But we have fun. Yeah. Thank you. My pleasure.
Hi.
Hey.
Is there anything from any of your television roles, because you didn't get the scripts all together in advance, that brought out something in your personality that really surprised you?
That's a really good question, Aaron. That's one of the things that I really like about acting that I think is so healthy, is that like psychologists will tell you that the human person, like whatever personality we think we have, is just the coping mechanisms that we've used because of the experiences we've had. And if we'd had different experiences, or if we had decided to cope with them differently, we could have any personality in the world. And so I have gotten to give, in a safe space of acting, I've been able to have a wide variety of experiences and be able to choose how I react to them in ways like Spike killed innocent people, okay? I would not do that. But I have discovered it can be fun. That's a really weird thing to sink into and admit about myself. I mean, that was the big hurdle to play Spike. And it makes me feel kind of queasy to talk about, but it's true, you know? And so I guess from fourth grade on, I've been finding out about myself and discovering that I have a lot more facets to myself than I thought. I don't know how to, I guess specifically, I don't have a specific right now, but the whole thing. I've been learning about myself the whole time, yeah. And I'm freaky, yeah. Orion, oh, hell yeah, dude.
What was your favorite cosplay at this con?
Pick your favorite.
Dude, I'm gonna be so in trouble with every other cosplay.
One that just stuck out to you. Maybe not your favorite, but the one you remember the most.
I like the dude that's cosplaying Orion, because he rocks.
For anybody that doesn't know, this is Orion.
This is
right?
Orion,
This is
and it's
Orion.
check him
Orion,
out. It's a
can you wave
perfect
to
cosplay.
everybody?
No one rocks Orion as hard as you do, brother. And I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole, dude. I'll be honest with you, because I'm serious. You're going to get me in trouble with everybody else. So I said, you can ask me anything you want, right? And I said, I will not answer everything you want. And you've asked the question, I'm not touching that. Okay?
Thank you, Orion. We do have just 5 minutes left, so we only have time for a few more. I know,
So
I
fast.
know.
Oh my God.
But
Okay.
you just have to come back. Okay. Yes.
You got it.
So
You got
if
it.
you do not get, yes, please. If we do not get to your question, you will be at your booth for the rest of the day. So please feel free to come see him there. Go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
I was wondering, because I like Spike's attitude and I like punk music.
Yeah.
What was kind of like the music behind the character, if you know?
The music, the Sex Pistols for sure. Everclear, actually. I don't know if they're straight up punk, but they're ferocious, man. And then I would listen to this song by Wheatus, which isn't really punk. It's really kind of more pop, but Teenage Dirtbag. It was perfect for Buffy and Spike and Angel. Her boyfriend's a dick. He brings a gun to school and he'd simply kick my ass if he knew the truth. He lives on my block. He drives and I walk, and she doesn't know who I am. And she doesn't give a damn about me, 'cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. You know what I mean? Like that. So I would just listen to that and I'd be like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to go be Spike. Yeah. But a lot of Everclear. Everclear got me a long way. And then Sex Pistols only have, never mind the Bullocks. They just one album, but that works every single time. Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
My pleasure.
Hello. Like two others, I got into your career a little bit more with Smallville. I was aware of Buffy, but I'm finding it interesting now that Spike's arc went one way and your character on Smallville went the other way. But I think a testament to one, how good you were, is I really started to not like you. And when you're good at what you're doing, it's like, do I really want to meet this person?
Yeah, yeah.
And, but the question is, with different characters, different types of arcs, did you ever have a flub on set where you accidentally channeled another character and maybe that blooper accidentally made it into the show because they said, oh, that's cool, that might actually work. Keep it.
Wow. No, I'm not a blooper actor, actually. Like, I remember going... like
not on purpose, but accident, you know.
Yeah. No, I remember they make a gag reel, which is the reel that they show the cast and crew at the rap party at the end of each season. And this was on Buffy. This is before Smallville. But I went up there, and I asked the producer, I was like, I'm never in the gag reel. What the heck? You know? Like, I should be in the gag reel, man. You know? I was young. And they're like, oh, we'll tell you why. I don't know if you want to hear. But like, I want to know why. It's because you're boring. I was like, what? And I'm like, yeah. James, whenever they call cut, like, first of all of your takes are perfect. Not perfect, but they're all usable. They're all good. And then when we call cut, you do the same thing every single time, James. You check to make sure you're on your mark. Then you go back to your chair, you pick up your script, and you study your lines until we call places again for action. Every single time. There's no gag, funny stuff going on. However, when we call action, it's like someone released a panther, so don't change what you're doing, but it's all on camera, man. You're boring in real life. I'm like, okay, yeah.
This is going to have to be, unfortunately, our last question. So, like I said, if you didn't get a chance to ask your question, you will be at the booth.
Yeah, I'll be back at the table about 2:30.
Yes, so go right ahead with your question, my dear.
Hi, I'm Alina.
Hey, Alina.
I was back at your table. You mentioned earlier that Spike is kind of like the darker parts of yourself. So were there any moments where you like vented through your acting, like at all?
All the time. That's the great thing about playing villains and or jerks. They say that the nicest people on the set are always the people playing the villains, right? And I think that is because the person playing the villain gets to get all of that out on action. And you just... because you don't, like, have you ever had, like, you're hanging out with, you're out in the world and someone really frustrates you and you're like the mature one, you rise above and you don't get in a fight about it, and then you get home, you're like, oh, I should have said this. Oh, you know, it bottles up. Being a good person, some of that stuff can bottle up in you, you know. And so when you get to play a villain, you get to just flush it all out. And I kind of feel sorry for people that play heroes, because even on action, they have to be even more perfect, you know. And I'm like always like, well, where are they going to get it out? And so it is constantly just kind of flushing the drain, and just getting all that stuff out. And then everyone goes, "Oh, you're such a good actor." I'm like, "No, I'm just a jerk," but okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Guys, you are great, and thank you.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us.
Love you.
Really appreciate it.
Hell
Do you
yeah.
have anything on the horizon coming up that you would like to talk about?
I've got a show on Amazon Prime called Casa Grande.
Okay.
I've got a show on Apple Plus called Curses. The band is doing we're recording our 7th album. Wonderful. That's what I can think of. There's probably something else, but I don't remember.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. One more time for James Marsters. Everybody, we're going to take a quick, you know the drill. You're already on the way up here. We're going to take a quick stage selfie real quick with Mr. James. And you can purchase the stage selfie outside at the booth for anybody that would like to.